TCU is about that life. TCU came into the Sweet 16, never been in the Sweet 16 before as a team, and they proceeded to systematically knock off Notre Dame. The final score, guys, 71 TCU to 62. And guys, the thing I really want to talk about is what a redemption, what a comeback season for Hailey Van Lith. The reason why TCU win this game, it's all because of Hailey. It's all because of Hailey. Because Hailey Van Lith showed up and showed out in this game, not just on offense, but on defense. There were several times where Hailey Van Lith played some fan-freaking-tastic defense, was tying them up, getting jump balls and all that stuff. She was someone who came out to play. Now, we have seen a lot of people talk a lot of trash about Hailey Van Lith. It's like, oh, Hailey Van Lith, she's not that good and blah, 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 blah. Hailey Van Lith, all those doubters, all those people that was like, oh no, Hailey Van Lith don't deserve to be a first round pick. Oh no, Hailey Van Lith is not that great of a player. There's so many guards that's better than Hailey Van Lith. Hailey Van Lith showed y'all that she is not the Hailey Van Lith from last year. The Hailey Van Lith from last year was confused on the court. She was timid on the court. She second-guessed herself all the time. She made a ton of mistakes. Now at TCU, she is rejuvenated. She said that mentally she is in the zone, right? She did the 3-on-3 for the Olympics over the summer, and all of her flaws, she was working on them. One of her huge flaws was defense, right? She's been working on that. Passing the basketball, she's been working on that. And now, guys, at the biggest stage in her last year in college, Hailey Van Lith puts TCU on her back and is the reason why TCU wins this game. Final score for Hailey Van Lith, 26 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists in this game. She facilitated the heck out of that game. There were times where Hailey Van Lith, one of the things that was a critique about her last year was her ability to just adjust on the fly, to kind of know, read what the defense is doing and make the right play. We saw her make right play after right play after right play today. So many right plays in this game. When she was trying to get a ball to Sedona Prince, a shot wasn't really available. And Hailey Van Lith ended up going around to the rim, making the layup. She was on her big one today. Now, when it comes to efficiency, yeah, she didn't shoot that efficiently, right? 10 to 21 from the field, right? Not crazy efficiently, but when her team needed her the most, Hailey Van Lith put her team on her back and was going. All right. Now, she literally laced up her boots. She put on her backpack and she was like, oh no, TCU, it's time to ride. It's time to ride. We are riding out to the Elite Eight. And I love it. I love the fact that Hailey Van Lith was getting to the rim, beating Hannah Hidalgo, beating Sonia Citron. Like this was not terrible defenders that Hailey Van Lith was going against. This was not. She saw several defenders in this game. And she did her thing. Didn't matter who was on her. She kept getting to the rim. She only hit two shots out of the paint really in the entire game, right? Several paint shots for Hailey Van Lith. She showed up and showed out and is letting everybody know that she is about that life. She's like, hey, y'all wanna underestimate me? I got this. You ain't gotta worry. I'm putting my team on my back and I'm about to make this happen. And I'm gonna tell you, I did not expect this. I did not expect Hailey Van Lith to play as great as she did. I didn't, guys. I didn't see it coming into this game. I thought that this Notre Dame team was a better team, but they didn't play it. Hailey Van Lith showed up to play. All right. We saw Madison Connor in that first half show up to play as well. Knocking down threes, get into the rim, just kind of doing a little bit of everything. We saw Sedona Prince show up in this game, right? Now, yes, some of her she could do a better job finishing, but she kept getting fouled. And when it comes to post players, sometimes post players can get fouled and then go to the free throw line and then miss the shot, right? Miss the shot. Sedona Prince was making her free throws. 21 points for Sedona Prince. 11 of 12 from the free throw line. That's a big one. That's how they win. And they win because of Agnes Imanopu. Agnes Imanopu, somebody who does not get a lot of attention for TCU, but she came in this game saying, I'm going to sit down and play some defense. I may not score that much. That's okay. I'm about to rock out with this team. And she absolutely did. She was in foul trouble throughout the game, but ultimately was able to hold on in there. 7 points for her, 7 rebounds, 3 blocks, 2 steals for Agnes Imanopu. Overall, fan-freaking-tastic game by TCU. This was a team victory. Yes. Hailey Van Lith was the player, right? Hailey Van Lith was the player who made this stuff happen, right? She put this team on her back. However, this was a team victory, right? No one was playing hero ball. They were all playing together. It was like Mark Campbell had this entire team on a string. He was just maneuvering everything, and this team played exactly the way that he wanted them to play. I loved it. I didn't expect it, but I'm gonna tell you this: I'm happy about it because this was a team that I did not expect to be as good as they have been. 34-3 for TCU. 34-3. Now, guys, if you wanna kind of take it back and see how TCU has done in the past, this team sucked. They were horrible. TCU was absolutely horrible a couple years ago. Before Mark Campbell came to this program, they were trash. Absolute trash. And he has rebuilt this team piece by piece through the transfer portal. And now, OMG, we have a masterful season. Masterful season, guys. Because here's the deal. For the 2021-2022 season, TCU was 6-22 on the season. 6 wins, 22 losses, just a couple years ago. For the 2022-2023 season, they were 8-23. Mark Campbell comes in, makes some noise. They go to 21-12 last year. Ended up having to have some walk-ons because injuries came about. So many injuries for TCU last year, right? Ended up having to get some walk-ons, but still finished the season 21-12. And now this year, 34-3 for TCU. What a trajectory for Mark Campbell and his program. What a redemption plan for so many players on TCU. Most notably, Hailey Van Lith. She has been on her big one. She is showing people that, I can play. I can play some basketball. I can make some stuff happen. And y'all may doubt me, but I'm in a good headspace. I'm in a good space right now, and I'm about to show up and show out. Again, 26 points. 26 points for her. 9 rebounds, 4 assists. If Hailey Van Lith continues to play like this, and Sedona Prince, same thing, Madison Connor, same thing, hey, I said that I didn't see TCU making the Final Four, right? But hey, who knows? I think that's a huge possibility now. Huge possibility because they showed me something today. Yes, they beat Notre Dame early in the season, but that Notre Dame was kind of like a not all the way Notre Dame, right? This game, they showed up. They showed up and showed out. Now let's get to Notre Dame. Let's get to Notre Dame in this game because this is how you lose on the biggest of stages. We saw an epic collapse for Notre Dame today. Epic collapse. This was a game that was back and forth throughout, right? Back and forth. No issues with that. Yep. That's actually not a problem. Back and forth, right? At the end of the first quarter, 1 point lead by TCU. End of the second quarter, 2 point lead by Notre Dame. Okay. End of the third quarter, okay, Notre Dame up by 1. And then we started to see TCU get several stops on Notre Dame. We started to see the continuation of hero ball for Notre Dame. On Notre Dame, at one point they missed like three, not three. I believe they missed like 8 straight field goals in this game, in the second half for Notre Dame, because they were playing hero ball. They would get a stop. Hannah Hidalgo, instead of pulling it out, she would go straight, trying to get that layup in, amongst the trees, amongst several defenders. Missed the shot. We saw hero ball several times by Hannah, by Olivia, and all the while, the thing that I found was crazy. All the while, the player who did not miss a shot in the second round, the player who went most of the game today without missing a shot, she barely touched the ball. Now, yes. Credit to TCU's defense. TCU had some great defense. Great defense in this game. Absolutely. The way they defended Hannah, the way they defended Olivia, tried to get them off their square, and it worked. However, Notre Dame could and should have won this game, but they didn't play like a team. This is a really, really good squad, right? You got the likes of Leah King, Sonia Citron, Olivia Miles, Hannah Hidalgo, Maddie Westbrook. This is a good team. Really, really good team. And yet, when you play selfishly, when you play like you want to be the hero, when you know you are off, you are not hitting shots, right? Hannah Hidalgo, 3 of 19 from the field. 3 of 19. Olivia Miles, 3 of 10. Sonia Citron, 4 of 15. Leah King, 8 of 9 from the field. 8 of 9. She didn't miss a shot in the second round game against Michigan. In today's game against TCU, Leah King went the majority of the game 8 for 8. Ultimately, she finished 8 of 9. Why in the world did we not see Leah King more involved? That's why you lose. That is why you lose. You knew you were off. You were having a bad game. Yes, you normally get some foul call. You didn't get certain foul calls or whatever, or you're like, you normally make this shot, but it wasn't hitting. It wasn't hitting in the first quarter. You knew it was not hitting. So instead of going to the same thing, multiple, the same thing, this team did not adjust. They didn't adjust. They didn't. They didn't give it to the player who was the most efficient on the team. They wasn't looking for her. Leah King was trying to do whatever she could. Getting offensive rebounds. There was one play in particular that actually made me very annoyed. It was a fast break opportunity. Hannah Hidalgo has the basketball. Leah King is running with her. Hannah does not pass it to Leah. Hannah ends up trying to go for the layup herself. In contact, does not get the foul, misses the shot. Leah King saves the day, gets the offensive rebound, gets it to Cass Prosper, who ends up getting fouled, ends up making 2 free throws. So they end up with 2 points, but at the same time, pass the ball. We all know Hannah Hidalgo is a fantastic player. We know that. And sometimes you have an off game. That's not the problem. Right? We know that Sonia Citron is a really good player. We know that Olivia Miles is a really good player. Sometimes you don't have it. And that's okay. That is completely okay. Sometimes you do not have the shot. Sometimes you don't get the calls you want to make. Sometimes stuff just does not work out. However, when that happens, can you adjust? Can you be a really good facilitator for the rest of your team? Can you make stuff happen? And unfortunately for Notre Dame, the answer was no. The answer was no. Every time, should have gave the ball to Leah King. Ran through her. Didn't do it. And ultimately, that's why you lose. That's why you lose. Adjustments matter. Adjustments matter. And early in this game, we saw Mark Campbell adjust in this game, right? Early on, it was a huge focus about Sedona Prince, getting her involved, right? Absolutely, getting her involved. But then the adjustment came, and it was about, okay, Hailey, start cooking. Look for your shot more. Drive to the basket more. Use Sedona as a decoy. And it worked. It worked. Adjustments matter. Adjustments are important. And this was a game that Notre Dame did not adjust at all. That's why they lose. Emmanuel with the super chat, thank you so much for the super chat, says, how would you grade Coach Ivey's performance? Do you think she could have done anything differently? Yes. I think she could and should have sat Hannah Hidalgo. I grade her performance a C. C minus. You had the players. You had the personnel. You are a really, really good team. But instead, you allowed a player who was having an off night continue to play hero ball time after time after time after time and time after time. And on defense, you were sleeping. How many times did Hailey Van Lith get a wide open shot? Right? How many times? You're not going to win like that. Both of her 3-point shots, both of Hailey Van Lith's 3-point shots, she was wide open. Wide open. What are you doing on defense? It's absolute nonsense. Absolutely not. Like, this was a terrible game for Niele Ivey. And I'm a fan of Niele Ivey. I think she's a really good coach. However, she got today. She was out-coached by Mark Campbell. She was out-coached by Mark Campbell. Even though you have a great player, right? Even though, Taurus, a generational talent for Hannah Hidalgo, right? And even though you don't have a big bench, your bench is not very good. We all know that. We all know that Notre Dame does not have a big bench. But there are some times where you just have to say, you know what? You're not getting the picture. Get up, sit on the bench. Sit. I know. We about to put somebody in that hasn't really played that much this year. I know we putting somebody in that's not totally not that great. However, I need to teach you a lesson. Sit on that bench. Sit on that bench and think about why you are on here. You're on the bench because you're not playing like a team. You're playing hero ball. You're playing selfish basketball. You're playing me. And we're not going to win like that. So, Hannah, I know you having a bad game. I know sometimes the refs ain't calling certain stuff. I know. But in that first half, I would have sat Hannah for at least a little bit. I would have sat her. You had to have done that. But unfortunately, she plays the whole game. She plays all 40 minutes in this game. And ultimately, a lot of the mistakes that she made was key in this game. Now, I'm not putting this all on Hannah because Hannah is a fantastic player, right? Maddie Westbeld was in foul trouble. That was a huge issue for Notre Dame because Kate Cavall, and Liza Carlin, they couldn't ride with Sedona Prince. They couldn't. All right? They couldn't. So it's not all on Hannah, and I don't want anybody to think that this is me piling on Hannah Hidalgo. That's not what I'm doing. What I'm saying is that this is a growth area for both Hannah and for Coach Ivey. It is one thing to be a huge talent, but sometimes the ball just doesn't fall for you, and that's okay. Sometimes that's what happens. Everybody has those games, right? Even the best of players have some off games. But it's how you adjust and how you decide, you know what, my stuff isn't falling, let me get everybody else involved, right? This is a growth area for Hannah, for Sonia, for Olivia, for Coach Ivey. This is. They're still a great team. I still believe they're a great team. I still believe they should have won this game. I do. But they didn't. And the reason why is because they did not play team basketball. And TCU did. That's the difference. Yeah, that's my thoughts there. That's my thoughts. What do y'all think? Let me know in the comments below. Guys, I got to go. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me. Yeah, truly, let me know. Let me know. Am I off on my perspective? Am I on point? Like, what do y'all think? What do y'all think ultimately about this game? Yeah. Neither team had a bench. Neither team had a bench, but one played more like a team in the entire 40 minutes of the game, and one team didn't. That was the difference in this game. That was the difference. And hey. Bryce says HVL put the clamps on Hannah Hidalgo today. Sure. Hailey did play some good defense. Yeah, sure, she did do that. But I think it was just Hannah that was having an off game. I don't think it was like, oh, Hailey Van Lith was that elite of a defender to really shut down Hannah, right? I just think Hannah had a bad game, a really off game, and sometimes you have to recognize that and adjust. There was no adjustment. The best player on the court for Notre Dame was Leah King. Leah King barely touched the ball in scoring positions. She barely touched the ball. That's why you lose. Someone who was 8 of 9, the best shooter on the floor. Leah King was the most efficient shooter on the floor. And she barely gets the ball. That's why you lose. So, yeah. Great job, Hailey Van Lith. Great job, TCU. Y'all are moving on to the Elite Eight. We will ultimately see what happens from here. But you've made a lot of people a believer. You made a lot of people a believer. And we will see what happens. Yeah. Hannah was taking bad shots. And here's the deal. Hannah makes a lot of bad shots. She does. Similar to Malaysia Fulwale, where they shoot shots that it's like, man, if anybody else shot that would be really bad. But they tend to make it. This time they weren't. They weren't making it. They weren't. And hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. How can you adjust? But shout out to Leah King, man. She tried her best. She tried her best. She really did. She was efficient. She was there. But she didn't get any plays ran for her. If you notice, a lot of her shots, it wasn't even off of plays ran for her. Like, she was just trying to get the boards, trying to make some stuff happen. But she wasn't even getting plays. This was the guard show, and sometimes the guards don't have it. So can you run plays for your forward? Can you? If you did that, honestly, you would have had a better chance. You would have had a better chance. So, yeah, that's my thoughts about this game. We'll ultimately see what TCU can do from here. But again, shout out to them, man. Shout out to them. We'll see ultimately what happens. Yeah, sometimes it just don't go in, and that's okay. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes the ball just does not fall. But what else can you do to help your team win? And there was a lot more that could have been done. A lot more. Overall, bad defense by Notre Dame throughout this game. Bad team offense. It was not great. But sometimes that's how it is. And shout out to TCU, man. Shout out to TCU. Anyway, I'm rambling. I gotta go. I will see y'all in the next one. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me, guys. We got 3 other games happening later today. I will not be live for those, but I will be watching them, so I'll have a recap for you all tomorrow morning. Make sure to join me tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. Central Time for another edition of Quita in the Mornings. Make sure to rock with me for that. For Texas versus Tennessee, I do have Tennessee. For Oklahoma versus UConn, I do have UConn. Okay? So anyway, I'll see y'all in the next one. Until next time, guys. Bye-bye.